Hi there, sorry. Welcome back to the GameSpot stage here at E3 2015. I'm joined by Chuck, creative director of the Coalition. We're going to be showing off some Gears of War Ultimate Edition. Chuck, how you doing? How has your show been?
Oh, it's been fantastic. The response for Ultimate Edition has been really, really good.
I mean, so Gears is obviously this core Xbox franchise. I mean, we could wax lyrical for so long about what Gears has done for modern gaming, for Xbox. We can if you want. I mean, let's get into the Ultimate Edition. So, obviously, Gears 4 is coming out. Is this kind of a way to introduce? Because Gears is going to be 10 next year,
yeah.
which is
it's amazing, isn't it?
I can't believe it.
I can't believe it either.
No.
I mean, it's been such a privilege to be able to work on the Gears franchise. Obviously, a year and a half ago, Microsoft acquired the license, and that came to the Coalition studio up in Vancouver.
Yeah.
Along with that, Rod Ferguson, who was one of the co-creators, he came and joined the studio, and that's been a godsend for us. So, the first thing we did is we sat down and started to deconstruct Gears because, it's such a deceptively simple game, but you don't realize until you start to dive into it how everything works together. So what Epic created is really elegant, and it's one of those games that if you don't have somebody like Rod on staff, it's really hard to understand the nuances of the experience. So we spent time doing that, and the idea was, while we're building Gears 4, which we knew was going to be a multi-year effort, how do we get something in the hands of fans as quickly as possible? And the idea was spawned, to build the Ultimate Edition. What we did was, we actually stripped the game all the way down to the core code base, and everything in the game has been rebuilt from scratch. So every character, every enemy, every weapon, all the lighting, VFX, all the cinematics, and the mocap has all been redone from scratch. So it can be one of those premier, showcase products on Xbox One.
So have you done that in engine? So what was the original Gears made in? Unreal?
It was I'm not sure which of it was one of the Unreal engines.
Yeah, one of the Unreals.
Yeah,
Is this being made in Unreal 4?
No, it's actually being done in an updated version of the Unreal Engine.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's all the original code.
Yeah, I was going to say, that was my question. How do you port that across?
The Unreal Engine is amazing.
Yeah.
It's a really robust engine. It has a lot of flexibility to it, and the team has, we've gotten great support from Epic, which has been fantastic. We've been partners with them not only on this, but also on the Unreal 4 engine.
Yeah.
So the relationship has been great, and that's really allowed us to do everything that you're seeing in the game today.
So it's been completely rebuilt from scratch. I mean, why was that important to do? I mean,
because I think, because Gears was a showcase product when it came out, and people have such great memories about it. It was one of the, one of the first HD games on the system. It was one of those games that you bought to show off to your friends how awesome the system was. If you're going to bring that to Xbox One, you need to maintain the same level of quality and make sure that it's still a showcase product. So for us, it was really important not just to go out and up-res the textures, but to really give the fans, the game that they deserved on Xbox One, especially as the initial product that launched.
And another thing you're doing is the smooth 1080-60.
Yeah.
So what is that going to bring to gameplay? How's that going to change it up?
It's amazing. We've got it playing on the floor, and obviously we announced on Monday after the show that the Ultimate Edition beta was going on right now, so people can go to gearsofwar.com, sign up. It's going to run until Tuesday at 11 a.m.
Yeah.
And what the 1080p 60 frames a second has done is just elevate it to the same level as the best multiplayer experiences on the next-gen system. So it's really fluid, really responsive. It plays really, really smoothly. When you pick it up and play it, it's a whole different experience. It's really amazing.
So which multiplayer modes are available in the beta right now?
We brought TDM over, Team Deathmatch, over from Gears 3, which wasn't available in the original, but it's the most played and most popular multiplayer mode. And we also brought King of the Hill, not the one from the original PC version, but the Gears 3 version.
So you put things from Gears 3 into Gears 1? Was that how did that come about? Was that just a thing, we know fans want this, or is this a thing that kind of wish this was in the first game?
A little bit of both, right? Having Rod on staff was great because he could say, look, this is the reason why we did this in the first game, either because of technological issues or time issues, or we just didn't know any better, right? The Gears franchise has evolved, and every game has gotten a little bit better and a little bit, has more features in it. And what you realize is when you go back and play a game that's 9 years old, you realize very quickly how much the game has evolved over time. And the things that you're used to, like being able to switch weapons or preload a weapon when you're roadie running or pick up a weapon before you get into the active area for it, is really important. It's things that you sort of expect. So we wanted to make sure that those things were able to come to Ultimate Edition, but not change the essence of the experience. So we spent a lot of time with a bunch of the Gears Pro gamers, brought them in very early and talked to them about what are the things you love about the original Gears, what are the things that you'd like us to add, and what are the things that you want us to change or fix from the original. So we have a really special relationship with our community, and those guys have been really instrumental in a lot of the changes that we put into the game, because we're really building it for the fan base.
Yeah. And I mean, it's not just how Gears has evolved over time, but it's also how other shooters and third-person games have evolved in that same time period, because everyone's kind of sparking off each other and iterating on these themes. So, I mean, you guys have to, you set the standard, and everyone's kind of copying you a little bit.
Well, I mean, we all have fond memories of games from 10 years ago, right? When you go and play those, in fact, we had this experience. We went, sat down and played it, and we were asking Rod, is this a bug? Is this supposed to be here? And he said, no, that's actually supposed to be there. But in the interim, when you play these other games, you start to get these systems, you start to get these features and things that, you know, have evolved and made the game better, that if you don't have them there, you miss them. And that's what the fans wanted, and that's what the community wanted. They said, please put this stuff in, because we want to be able to mark enemies in multiplayer, because it enhances the team-based play, which is really what Gears is all about.
So let's talk a little bit about this, because I noticed you've added a spectator mode. So is this a kind of, typically, which is what we see in esports, so we can get shoutcasters and commentary. Is this a kind of avenue that Gears is going to go down?
I think we'd like to explore it. I mean, as I said, incredibly passionate community that's really been running a lot of tournaments and events on their own, and this is some of the stuff that they asked for. They said, hey, we want LAN support, because when we're setting one of these things up, we don't always have great internet connection, so we want to be able to have the best possible experience. So we put that in. The other thing we put in is a spectator mode. So when you get a play-by-play guy and a color commentator, they can now take two of the slots and be able to show the action that they want to show instead of being tied to any of the particular players in the match.
So another thing that Microsoft announced on Monday in their press conference was the new Elite controller.
Right.
Have you guys had a chance to use that?
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah.
It's by far and away the best controller I've ever put my hands on. And the great thing about it is it works fantastic with Gears. It's completely customizable. And everything is attached through magnetics. So if you like your stick a little bit taller, or you like a round top on it, you just pop one off, pop the other one on, and you get exactly the experience you want. And if you haven't touched it, head over to the booth and try it out.
I mean,
it's got
the
a
booth
great
is
weight.
right there.
Yeah, I know. I can't believe you haven't made it over.
No, I looked. There was a queue. And
you can get to the front of the queue.
Shove past people to have a go.
Exactly. I'll help you out.
Thank you. So let's have a look at what we can see here. So this is some of the gameplay, which kind of, it just looks, it looks fantastic. I mean,
thank you.
The artists have done a really amazing job. Let's talk a little bit about, so you kind of got new lighting systems, I assume.
Yeah.
What other small things have really made a big difference?
I mean, it's really just been taking the time to rebuild everything from scratch, right? I mean, it's when you're taking stuff that exists and you're just trying to up-res it, there's always going to be things that don't exactly work right. But when you can take a model, a character, an enemy, a Brumac, something like that, and actually rebuild it, you can sand off all those rough edges, right? So you get exactly the experience you want, and that's why the quality of it is as high as it is. You know, the team at the Coalition and the partners that we have at Splash Damage have done such an amazing job, and they bring that same sort of passion that the hardcore fans in the community have for it. And for them, it's not great until, you know, it's something we're going to be really proud of to put out there. And so we're not cutting any corners with this game at all.
So the Coalition is now the new home of Gears.
Yes.
Why did you guys change your name, by the way? Because you were Black Tusk, and then you kind of changed it to an even more badass name.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, we really like the idea of the Coalition, and I think, especially when you think about Microsoft development, there's studios like 343, and when you go to 343, you realize, okay, I'm going to build Halo games, and that's what we're going to do. Same thing with Turn 10. You know, you're going to get Forza, and you're going to build racing experience. And I think it was important, the same thing with the Coalition, to project an image of, hey, we're the stewards of the Gears of War franchise and IP, and when you come to the studio, you know, you need to be a passionate Gears fan. You need to be somebody who wants to build the best possible Gears experience. And by changing the name to embody really what the IP is all about, which is a diverse collection of people coming together to make something great, it felt like it was the right thing to do, and it felt like it really was a natural selection for the studio.
So speaking of fans, obviously you're going to have some really hardcore fans who will go back with the franchise to the beginning. How has that relationship with the studio and the franchise evolved over time, and how can they get themselves involved in terms of feedback and things like that?
Well, obviously, you know, at Gears Viking is Rod Ferguson. He's got a huge Twitter following, and he's always responding to everybody. I'm happy to talk to fans on Twitter. You know, we just launched our new GearsOfWar.com website, which has the new forums and the ability to talk to you know, our main moderator Jack Felling and the team up there. I mean, we really love our community, and they are passionate like nobody I've ever seen. I mean, this has been my first year being introduced to the Gears fan base, and it is unbelievable. You could not ask for a more passionate fan base than the people who love Gears, and they know that we're available for them. We've had people that have been here all 3 days so far, just standing in the queue, playing through the beta on the floor because they love the game so much. And we take the time to talk to them and get their feedback and really balance it out and figure out what the best experience that we can deliver to the fans is.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. When can we get our hands on the Gears of War? What is going on over there? The Gears of War Ultimate Edition.
Well, you can get your hands on the beta today. It runs till next Tuesday, and then the game launches in stores August 25th in the US, August 28th in Europe. And if you buy Ultimate Edition, you actually get early access to Gears of War 4 early beta, and then additionally we announced on Tuesday that we're also supporting the PC. So that's going to have full 4K support, DX12, unlimited refresh rate, so if you have a monster system, which I'm sure you do, it plays unbelievably and looks unbelievably, as well as having support for keyboard and mouse, the Xbox wireless controller, and as we just talked about, the new Elite controller. So those will all work with the PC.
Pretty much every single bell and whistle then.
That's the plan.
Thank you so much for joining me. Guys, my stint is sadly over. I'll be back at the end of the day. I think you got Chris Waters coming up next. Make sure you don't go anywhere.